Hello, my name is Heather. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing. I hope you enjoy this reading. It's a general reading. Please take what works for you. If it may also apply to somebody you are close to at this time. If you have strong influences in your birth chart associated with another sign, please feel free to cross-watch for further insights. I have shuffled and laid out the cards. I work through the 12 houses of the zodiac. So as the cards appear in each house, those are the influences that are coming in at this time. So for Aries, we have in the first house, we have Jupiter return, which is benefits. This is a really beautiful card to have anywhere in your chart at any time. So this appearing in your first house, this deals with your self, your body, your appearance, the way you project yourself to others, and your how you are received by others. So it's almost like your mask, you know, what it is that you are presenting in the outer world. It just covers your general influence of others, how you make your way forward, and how you are perceived by others, how you are coming across to them as well. So being your first house, Jupiter return, this is very beneficial, as I said. It brings gifts and opportunities and abundance. So you will feel like that as well. You will feel abundant and generous and open-hearted, and you will be very well received by others. You'll be feeling very social, outgoing, and just light-hearted, and laughing a lot, and just enjoying being wherever you are, and in whatever situation you are. Because it's a Jupiter return, you may find that aspects from the past may be coming back and bearing fruit for you now. So it could just be something, it could be even to do with just a physical regime which you're now doing, whether it's a get fit or just some kind of regime which you were busy with in the past. Perhaps it didn't quite work out, or you didn't feel that it was the right time, or it just never materialized, or you never took advantage of it. Well, something may come back for you now. It could also be just that you are in the limelight and you're feeling incredibly expansive, and because you're feeling that way, something from the past will be drawn back to you to now reach, to now bring you some kind of benefit which didn't happen before. So this is wonderful influence that you're having on the world in general, on others. If you work with others, if you're a consultant, or if you are in a public sphere, then this is a really very beneficial aspect to be having, because you're going to be received so well and you're going to be able to influence others in a great way. The first house also affects your seventh house, which is your house of close personal relationships. So how you are appearing, how you're coming across, your general personality and your demeanor is going to have a direct impact on others as well. So when we get to the seventh house, we'll talk about that. The slight downside for having Jupiter, and particularly return, is it does affect the body. So it's your physical self. So that you may just want to be aware that you may be prone to weight gain, or to just eating and drinking too much and just having too much of a good time, really, just overdoing it. So just be aware, yes, you'll be feeling powerful, you'll be feeling great and having fun and lots of social activities and just getting out there, but you don't want to overdo it and sort of undo work that you've done before. You want to enjoy these benefits and enjoy looking your best and feeling your best. The other aspect of it is also don't get too relaxed, too sort of feeling so great that you don't have to do much about opportunities. Any opportunities that come to you now, you've got to work on them, you've got to move them forward with all this grace and abundance that's coming to you, but you've still got to work. You've still got to actually put yourself in that position. This is also a wonderful card of being in the right place at the right time. So that's all coming to you, but don't let an opportunity slip up, or don't feel so relaxed that you feel you don't have to take advantage of things, that you're just going to chill and not worry about it. If something is presented to you, harness it and make the best use of it. Then in the second house, you have another very beneficial card. This is part of fortune, and it symbolizes increase. It's also the rise of your hidden talents and abilities, things that you perhaps just haven't used before, aspects of yourself which you just haven't used before, or you know about. Possibly you're aware that you have these gifts and abilities, but or talents, you've just never really had the opportunity to grow them, or to feel any need for them. But now this is coming into your second house, which is the house of income, your money coming in. It's also property, and your self-worth, what makes you feel worthy. And it's a house of possessions, real estate, and it's the house of your values. So values and self-worth go hand in hand. So it's a really beneficial card. It's an increase in income, an increase in self-worth, and the rising of your abilities and talents that perhaps you just haven't harnessed before. It's about harnessing opportunities, harnessing abilities. And because the way you are projecting yourself outwardly is also going to have an effect on this house, because what you project is what's going to come back to you. It's a direct sort of relationship there. So you may also have an increase in your possessions of some kind. It's also about spotlight and recognition. So you could be experiencing notoriety in some way, which is going to bring you rewards, whether it's like a salary increase or some kind of abundance to do with how you are moving forward in the world. It could be to do with work that you've done, or just something that you're being recognized for. You're actually in the spotlight. And possibly those talents which you perhaps weren't aware, or abilities that you weren't really aware that you are projecting outwards. Other people are picking them up and actually acknowledging that in you. So that's again a really great thing to be having in your second house. And then hot on the heels of that, we have Scorpio. I transform. This is it's kind of connected to all of what we've already been discussing, because now we're in the house of communication. So with all this wonderful abundance and increase, and just feeling good about yourself and feeling worthy, and receiving recognition, and whether it's in monetary terms or just feeling good about yourself and having that recognized in others, Scorpio comes along in your house of communication, and requires transformation. So you may, because of all of this, be transforming how you communicate with others, or there just may be a necessary transform which is requiring to be brought in. But it's going to be passionate, transformative, sort of projection outwards, how you communicate. So that's written, verbal, body language, even being busy on social media and making comments on things. And if you are the kind of person who gives speeches, or is in the public eye, or is busy with in a career where you are required to transform social situations, or just being communicative in general, there's going to be transformation required there. You may have to master something and then move forward on it, or you may just have to deeply analyze the way you communicate now, or the way you are moving forward with that in a career choice, or just it could also be just with family members. So that's siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, and so on. So it has a family aspect as well. Or it could be that you are required to transform your relationship with those people, or it could be one person in particular that is in your sphere of influence. But it is transformative. It's very deep. You could be having really deep transformative discussions with others, or with a significant other. But it also has a slightly broader aspect to just being close by. This is also may have a public aspect as well. Or it could just be really sort of sexy discussions or texts with somebody. It does have that aspect as well. So this is all communication, so it can affect you in that way, but it's deep, it's transformative, it's down to the nitty gritty, but it's really also taking something old and transforming it and making it new. So something new from the old. It can also bring in secrets and suspicion, bearing in mind this is all to do with communication. So you may hear something, or you may just come across something suspicious in communication. It could also be to do with contracts. Contracts are ruled by the third house. So it's something to do with that. You're going to have to deeply look at it and go with your gut on certain things as well, and just be aware that there may be something under the surface which is going to come out or will come out, or just something's a bit off and you need to investigate further. The third house also covers psychic expansion. So if you are working in that field, and you are you may just find that your abilities are now really coming to the fore, rising to the surface. And because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto, it rules the underground. So this could be things that are coming up for you, abilities, and this is also linked again to this influence you're having on others, where it's a sort of, your influence is going to be powerful. So just be aware of that, and be aware that your ability to transform and to communicate with others is going to deepen considerably. And that choose your words with care. Be careful. Be careful about your psychic expressions, about your psychic impressions and the transmission of that. Just be aware of that, and be aware that these things have deeper reverberations for you. Then we have in the fourth house, we have lunar eclipse, which is change. And this is covering all aspects of the fourth house, which is all to do with the home, your home, and your influence in your home environment. It's also to do with your roots, your ethnic identity, and your foundations in life, where you sort of arose from. So the lunar influence is always female, feminine influence there. So you may be, if it's to do with ethnic identity and your roots and your foundation, you may have a strong female element there. But always this card brings in change of some kind, and it can be quite abrupt, and it can be quite quick, unexpected as well. But it also has the possibility of something that was bubbling under the surface, and now it comes up. Now it comes to be looked at and dealt with, but you have to deal with it. So changes, things coming to light, or things being revealed in your home life. Perhaps there's been a little bit of confusion, a bit of uncertainty, things not really clear about a way forward. Well, now you're going to start to see what a course of action. And it may be, may be very quick, may be very abrupt. It could be unexpected, but the change is inevitable, and it's inevitable change for the best. So bringing in the new. Everything to do with the new, the moon is always to do with that, bringing in the new. It could also be a change in your home environment. So a female may be coming in, or a female may be going. Or it's a feminine influence, which is coming in or going out. Because eclipses can bounce people in and out of your life. So there's some kind of change going on there. This takes place sort of 6 weeks to 6 months. So something may have already been in the works, and now it comes to the fore, or you will see changes now, and you're going to have to deal with it over that period of time. But as I said, it does have a feminine influence. You may just also be wanting to bring a feminine influence into your home if you are a male. If you're a man, and you may be wanting to bring that into your home, you may be wanting to bring a feminine influence into your home, make it a nurturing place. But ultimately there will be a change of some kind. So I feel it's a change of person in your home, or a change. It could even be a change of home, a change of residence. But it probably will be sort of a fairly emotional situation, but out of that will come something good, and it is inevitable in any case. Then in the fifth house, you have yet another moon card. So this is Cancer, I feel, also ruled by the moon, represented by the crab. And, you know, when you think about the crab, what does it represent for you? Where does it live? How does it come across? And in your fifth house, this is all to do with children. It's all to do with creativity, love affairs, having fun, getting out and about, you know, sort of, recreational activities of all kinds. So, you know, because it's in this case, there's a strong Cancer influence. Cancerians love to cook, they love to nurture, they love handcrafts, and they also have strong psychic abilities. They feel things very deeply. So all of these things could be coming into your environment. You know, it could be a creative sort of project that you're working on, or just you're harnessing all the creativity of Cancer. It could be even in a love affair that you need to feel deeply. You're going to feel things very deeply, or you could be drawing a Cancerian type person to you and starting a love affair. It may be a secret love affair because of Cancer. There is a secret element to Cancer, so it has got that aspect to it, a secret love. There's great sensitivity. There's also moodiness. So watch your moods, or you may be attracting somebody who goes through phases of the moon, and there are phases of the moon. So this relationship could be sort of going through different aspects, and you just got to ride the waves and feel your way deeply through it. Be sensitive, be open to what's going on. There's emotional highs here. Emotions are running high. There's imagination. So it could also be wisdom coming in as well for you, because you're feeling things very deeply. So you're going to be able to discern things. Cancerians are very protective of their inner circle. They're very protective. So you could be feeling very protective of a new love in your life. You could be feeling very protective over your children. You're bringing the mothering element into your children, which is required at this time. You may be feeling things very deeply with your children. You may be having to really tap in and tune into them, because they may be going through changes. They may be going through phases in their life. They may be going through a love affair, or having some kind of sort of emotional ups and downs. So you're either going to be asked to bring that in, or you may be feeling that way, or you're going to be experiencing it with your children. But it's a very strong, deep feeling kind of influence, moodiness, mothering. There may even be pregnancy if you're wanting to fall pregnant. Very strong possibility of that now. Or if you've got an older child that is now wanting to fall pregnant, you may be experiencing that through them. So there's all of that. It's a very strong, very feminine influence, and it's all the female issues coming in. And if you're a male and you've got some kind of creative project, or you have perhaps children around you, you may just be tapping into all those feminine aspects. We have male and female in us, the male and the feminine influence, masculine and feminine influence in us, and you may just be tapping into the deep feminine side of your nature and of your inner union, and tapping into that. So get creative in your endeavors. If you feel like you want to cook, try different things. And if you want to get out and about, go perhaps to the sea, enjoy outings to the sea, spend time next to the ocean. And it's just think about the crab. The crab is protective and very defensive doesn't like to be challenged, or if it feels threatened in any way, it goes straight into its shell and stays there, and out comes that big claw. So be careful. You may be finding that in you. If you're in a love affair, you may be finding that, or your children may be exhibiting that. But always be deeply in your feelings to harness the beauty of this this sign. And you may also, if it comes to recreation, you may just need to retreat periodically, to withdraw, to recharge your energies, and to keep yourself, keep your boundaries emotionally as well. Then in your 6th house, you have Grand Cross, which is the provoker. This is quite a difficult aspect to be having. It covers your 6th house, which is your house of work colleagues, your workplace. It's the house of work projects. It's also the house of health and diet, and your pets. So you may be experiencing challenges in this house. It's tension forces growth. It's 4 hard aspects in a chart which creates tension. Literally every angle is feeling stress at this time. So it's pressure, it's stress, but which does force growth. So it's not a fast moving influence. This is going to be sort of feeling pressured over a period of time. It's a period of difficulty followed by renewal. So it's time to buckle down. It's time to actually apply yourself and just work diligently, and almost plodding along, just steadily working forward through the pressure, through the stress. You've got to actually focus. Really, that's what it's about, focusing your energies in a specific way. So it could be stress, pressures at work, and it could also be issues to do with your health and diet. You may just be feeling overwhelmed, really, in a lot of ways, there will be a period of renewal. You will find a relief, but at this time, it's about focusing and working through those growth pains. You may also be in a situation where you have multiple talents and many paths available to you. And as I said, the talents and abilities are coming up now. It's coming up for you, and you're having to transform how you communicate as well. This is all, we've discussed this already. So this very much affects this house, because now you've got this rise of talents and abilities. You've got this feeling of abundance and influence, and you now need to transform how you communicate, or look at transformative ways to communicate, and that affects this. This affects us directly. So it's a case of applying yourself, but don't scatter your energies. Try and focus on a particular area, or one project at a time, because otherwise you will scatter your energies and you will just run yourself down, and then you will feel tired and you will feel ill, and you will start to develop stress illnesses. So it's really about harnessing all these very strong energies, and some of them are opposing or hard energies, but almost like focusing it like a laser beam, and cut out the juggling. You don't want to be juggling and feeling like you're not making any progress. You've actually got to harness this energy and actually put your shoulder to the wheel. Then we come now to the house of relationships. This is the 7th house. You have Aries, I am. So this is a very action-orientated card. It's fiery, it's passionate, it's dynamic, it's moving forward, it's leadership. And it's coming through in your 7th house, which is all to do with your close personal relationships, and it can be a business relationship as well. So this is your love relationship. This is your very close one-on-one relationships. This is not a grander perspective. This is very close, very personal, your one-on-one. And if it's a love affair you're embarking on, this is going to be really passionate, action-oriented. You may be wanting to take the lead. You may be wanting to drive this forward, and be dynamic, and take action. And these are all wonderful qualities, and it may be required in this relationship. Just don't overdo it. Don't be aggressive, or just don't be too forceful about it. So take the other person's needs and wants into consideration as well, and actually, because when you harness yours and the other person's wants and needs, you could really create a really dynamic and forward-thinking and progressive partnership. I mean, this is like power couple type stuff. So it could also be that you're drawing somebody like this to you. So you are an Aries and you may be drawing an Aries person to you, or an Aries, or somebody who's displaying Aries qualities. So that's dynamic, action-oriented, decisive, and they don't like playing games. Arians don't like playing games. They like things up front, sorted out, clear. Okay, let's have a plan of action. Let's move forward. Arians also don't like to, if something's wrong or something's come across incorrectly, something hasn't worked out well, they will immediately go to address it and sort it out. They immediately go and try and fix the problem. So it's all about that as well. Fast moving, you may have to compete in a relationship. You may have to compete for that person's affections, or somebody else is going to compete for you. There's various ways this can come about, but it's spontaneous, it's enthusiastic, it's also quick-tempered. So try to measure your responses, but ultimately it's leadership and action and passion. So it's just a very nice thing to have. And as I said earlier on, with your first house being how you are perceived by others and how you are moving forward in your life, how you are projecting yourself, and your personality is going to be very abundant, very generous, and very outgoing and open-hearted, and sort of just really being able to project yourself in a very positive way. And because it's a return, somebody may be coming in from the past. Somebody that you've known previously could be coming in, and they're displaying Aries qualities, or you're now wanting to take action on that one that got away. Maybe it was somebody that got away. Maybe it was a past love that just didn't happen. Well, you're going to make it happen now. You've got that with you now. So use it with care. Very, very, very great thing to have, but use it with care. Then in your 8th house, we have Virgo. This is a strong earth sign. It's ruled by Mercury, which is all about the mental faculties, air. And Virgos are earthy, but they're also about detail, getting organized, coming up with a plan, sifting through what works and what doesn't work. It can also be nitpicking. But it's ultimately the aspect you want to be bringing in here is detail, getting organized, having a plan, and being careful as well. Virgos also can be worrywarts, so try not to overanalyze and go overboard about things. Now, your 8th house is all to do with the deeper connection within a relationship. So again, it's coming back to your relationship. This is to do with shared resources. This can be emotional and monetary, even physical, but it's shared resources between committed partners. So this can be a business partner, but it can also be a love partner. Shared resources, that's very deep, and it's also about sexuality and so on. And so it's also about big money. 8th house rules big money. This is insurances, investments, inheritance. It carries a lot of weight when it comes to your long-term finance, the things that grow over a period of time. It's also accounting, banking, anything like that. It's also other people's money. So if you are in a profession which where you are managing other people's finance, or you're involved in money of that kind, this is about getting organized. Declutter, get rid of what doesn't work, getting organized, being fastidious about how you operate your business and how you work with other people's money, being really careful and considerate, and it's very good for consulting. And if this is about shared resources in your relationship, this is about getting organized, getting rid of the clutter, what doesn't work, getting up a spreadsheet for your finances, deciding how you're going to invest your money, where you're going to put your energies, and your shared emotional resources as well. What it is you're going to share, taking into account your partner's needs and wants, and so on. So it's being helpful, it's analyzing, it's addressing issues, and just to avoid worry and chaos. Hopefully that doesn't come in for you. Then In the ninth house, we have Capricorn. I use. So Capricorn is an earthy sign. It's a very ambitious sign. Um, and it's using whatever resources, whatever contacts, whatever opportunities come to you. It's using all of those to move yourself forward, up the corporate ladder or into a business, or to just to project yourself forward into your ambitious path, how you're wanting to move yourself up and forward, or on some kind of trajectory. Capricorn is all about that. So now your ninth house is to do with international travel, all foreign things, like foreign people. You may be coming into contact with that, or import, export, dealing with people on a global scale, and communicating with others that are not in the same country as you. And it's basically, it's also to do with publishing, to do with promotional work. It's to do with the media, and it's also to do with the higher courts. So if you're awaiting the outcome from a court judgment, then it will be fair and just, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is fair. It may be hard and it may have been difficult, but the outcome will be a fair outcome. If you're wanting to put your energies into a business of some kind, but it involves the publishing aspect of it, or promotional work, you're going to have to work pretty hard, and you're going to have to harness your contacts and make use of whatever contacts you have in an honorable way, and to push yourself forward. The ninth house also covers exploration and adventure, but whatever it is, it needs to have a solid foundation. It needs to be carefully thought out. There must be a plan. This is not a quick moving energy. It's slow. It's about having good, strong foundations. If it's to do, the ninth house also rules further education, like university education or adult education. So you may be wanting to start a form of study, or you may be a teacher, because it rules that as well. But whatever it is, have a strong plan, have a strong foundation, and build slowly. It's all about structure. So you may be wanting to bring that into that part of your life. It's also, the ninth house rules philosophy and religion and belief systems. So you may want to embark on a form of study, but you're going to have to lay, as I said, a very strong foundation, make good structures, make good contacts with whatever sphere of that you're moving in. And if you're needing to go on a trip, it may be a work-related trip. But whatever it is, it's not necessarily for fun. You're going to be going there to do research, or there's something that you need to go to do. But it must be carefully planned and carefully thought out. As I said, this is fairly slow-moving energy. It's about building. This is not a quick flip. This is more about longevity, and it's about gaining wisdom as well, and building things up. Then in the 10th house, this is your house of career. It's about your public status, your fame, your reputation, and authority figures. So you've got Pisces, I believe, appearing in this house. So could be manifesting in a number of ways. Basically, I feel it's to do with having faith and trust in what is going on, or what you may not have a clear idea. You may not have a clear idea of what it is you need to do, or how you need to move forward. So you're going to have to operate in faith and trust. Things may be just a little bit confusing for you. You may just feel like you're adrift, like there's a lack of clarity, just feeling adrift, really. That is how it feels. It also can bring in a bit of victim consciousness, so try and avoid that. Also be careful what crowd you're moving into, what people you are surrounding yourself with. You don't want to be mixing with the wrong folk or moving in the wrong direction. Just be careful who you surround yourself with, because you may just feel a dissolving of boundaries, or feel like you're not actually going to get anywhere. But Pisces has a greater influence. It's about deep faith. It's about deep trust. It also can be a connection with the divine. So if you are working in fields where this is required, it could be religious, it could be some sort of belief system which you are, kind of operating in. It could just be your faith, really, your religious faith. But it may be tested at this time. If it's a career aspect, you may be requiring to do that, and just believe that you are actually going to get on the right path, even though things may feel a little bit uncertain at this time. But it's certainly aspecting higher consciousness, divine connection. It's all about that. It's about imagination. It's about harnessing those beautiful abilities in yourself, and deep sensitivity, deep instinct, going with your intuition, and having deep compassion as well. It's a very watery sign. It's going with the flow and sensing where you need to be and who you need to be with and how you need to move forward. Okay. Then in the 11th house, we have Leo, I will. So the 11th house is all to do with your groups and your networks and your friendships, your hopes, your wishes, your interests, your hobbies. So if you're in a creative field, having Leo in there is fantastic, very creative sign. It could just be your influence. Again, coming back to your influence, which you covered again in the first house. This is your influence with others, amongst others. So when you're in a network or in your group situation or a club, if you're a member of a club, you may be you may be in the limelight. So the spotlight's going to be on you for perhaps a talent or an ability or something that you've initiated, or just the way you are being perceived by others. It's going to be acknowledged in some way, shape, or form. Or it could just be that your friendships, that your close friends are and acknowledging this in you. But it's about bringing that sunny warmth and creativeness into your relationships on sort of a group level or within your friendships. It's that generous, open-hearted kind of energy. And it's fun. It's also honorable. It's also strength, because it's got Leo, which is the lion. So there's strength there. So if it's to do with a friendship, you may be required to bring this in to your friendships to boost others, because others are also going through difficulties. They may be having somebody in your friendship circle may be having a bit of a difficult time, and you're now required to bring this in. Or you may be meeting a friend or linking up with a friend who's exhibiting these qualities, and you're enjoying that. You're kind of basking in the glow, if you want. Also, Leo does kind of bring in the children. So there may be children somehow involved in this. You could be going into a group which involves children, or is kind of involved with others in some kind of club which involves children. And this is a very positive and warm aspect to be having. It's, as I said, it's creative, it's fun, and you're going to be required to bring your personality in there, your warmth, and you're going to have to sort of bring it in and put yourself out there. And I don't feel you have any difficulty with that because of what you had in the first house. This is a very strong, very powerful influence. So I feel what you're projecting outwards is going to be acknowledged by others in your environment. Then in the 12th house, you have another Jupiter card. This is Jupiter, it's abundance. And the 12th house is all about the unconscious. So your unconscious drives, what lies beneath what is on the surface. This is your deep inner self. It's also about the 12th house also covers resolutions and endings. It covers solitude and reflection and meditation and withdrawal, all those things that it's deep contemplation. And it's also escapism. It's about, it can be about drugs and addiction and so on. So with Jupiter, which is a card of abundance and gifts and opportunity coming into this house, you can expect doors to open for you. So if you've been wrestling with a deep-seated issue, or just really feeling at a loss, you're going to receive some kind of resolution, some kind of benefit, some kind of abundance. It's bringing joy in, it's bringing happiness, and it's divine assistance as well. The divine is stepping in to assist you. It could also be you're now connected to somebody who's perhaps having a tough time, whether it's some kind of addiction or drugs or to just some kind of really horrible thing that they're going through. You may see them experiencing this. So it can have that influence. It can be somebody really close to you, and you're going to see this. You kind of be involved, or could be bringing it in, or you could be experiencing it yourself. So it's a resolution. It's a expansion. It's blessings. Blocks are going to be removed, and it's moving forward. It's a very happy, joyful, abundant energy, and that's going to be coming in for you. So it could just be something that has been really dogging you for a long period of time, or just something that you're finally overcoming. It could be just a deep-seated belief which just doesn't serve you anymore, and you're now going to get a benefit. You're now going to overcome that and feel the joy of letting that go, and now rising up and feeling so much better about where you are. It's also, the 12th house also covers karmic issues, so there could be the release of something, the resolution of something, the end of something which has really been pulling you down. You're now going to see a benefit there, and you're just going to feel a whole lot better. And if you enjoy retreating and solitude and reflection, you're just going to feel happy. You might find that your spiritual life receives a boost of some kind. So this is hugely uplifting, is the word I'm looking at. All right, Aries, thank you for joining me, and I wish you a wonderful month, and I will see you next time. Take care.